So I reviewed my personal auto, home, and umbrella liability policies recently. I'll talk about a few things in that you want to look at for yours. So let's talk about the automobile first. There is a liability limit on your automobile policy, and that typically is going to be around maybe 250,000. The thing that's important about that, and this is what a personal injury lawyer taught me 20 years ago, he said to me, whenever he is hired by somebody because they were in a car accident, and now one party is suing the other to try to get some recovery, some damages for that, he said the first thing he looks at is what is the liability limit on the auto insurance policy? Because as he said to me, he said, Armando, that's the easy money. He says, I am obligated to go to my client and tell them we can get X from the insurance company because this is the liability limit. And so that's why we always recommend that everybody have high liability limits on the auto and on the homeowner's policies, because that is, according to that personal injury expertise that I got, that is the easy money. And if they get that and just go away and leave you alone, great, you're better off for it. So take a look at your liability limits and make sure that they are a good number. But when I say good number, what you really want to have is you want to have that limit, whatever it is, that it ends at the number where your umbrella liability policy begins. So if your auto is 300,000, that's the max, then your umbrella should start at 300,000 and go up. That's how those two need to work so that you don't have a gap in that policy. It works the same way on your homeowner. So make sure you don't have any gap. And going back to the policy again for a second for the automobiles, you just don't want to have that gap. That umbrella has to have that same limit, that same starting point as the ending point on the car. Let me go to the house now. On your home, it's really important to have replacement cost, because replacement cost means that if there's an issue with the house, let's say it burns down, then it's the insurance company that has to make it right. They will replace your house at their cost, not your cost, but at their cost. So super important to have replacement cost in that homeowner's insurance policy. And just think about it for a second. We've all heard about inflation a lot lately, and now prices are going up again. So if you don't want to have to worry about that, if there's an issue with your house, you must have replacement cost written into your policy. So make sure to take a look at your policy. It's got to be there. I added earthquake insurance to my policy. It might seem like a dumb thing in Arizona to get earthquake insurance, but you can drive from Phoenix to San Diego and be there in about 6 hours. You can drive from Phoenix to Los Angeles and be there in about 6 hours. It's not that far away. And that is earthquake central in the United States, right? So I added it because it was really cheap. It was $145 for a year. And I'll flip that around and say, well, what if I didn't have the earthquake insurance? And what if there was an earthquake? Then that would mean that the damage to my home because of the earthquake has to come out of my pocket to fix it. So for $145, why wouldn't I just add that coverage and then I don't have to worry about it? So that's why I added the earthquake coverage. Let me talk now about the umbrella liability policy. This is the third of the policies I'm talking about today in this short video here. First of all, you have to understand what your net worth is. And what is net worth? That means look at the value of your house, less take away the mortgage, look at the value of your business, look at the value of investment real estate, look at the value of investments, of guns, jewelry, anything, but all of that together comes up with a value of with a net worth. That's the value. Now, I was having this conversation with an asset protection attorney recently, and he taught me a new term that I had not heard before. He said he looks at net worth as target value. He used to be the personal injury lawyer going after people to get what he could for his client. So he looks at net worth as target value. Now he protects his clients from that kind of an issue with insurance and trusts and business entities. So when you think about your umbrella and how much you should have, which is a common question that we get, I would say think about what is your overall net worth, because that is what you are at risk of losing. And make sure that that personal umbrella liability policy is going to cover most, if not all, of that net worth that you have. And all of this is about what's called risk mitigation. Risk mitigation means how do you reduce the risk of loss? And that's what insurance policies are great for. That's what risk mitigation is. Hopefully this was helpful to you. If you have questions or don't really know what you have in your own policies, you probably want to call your insurance agent and have a conversation with them to make sure that you do know what you have. And if that still isn't clear afterwards, shoot me an email. Happy to answer any questions that you might have. Hope this helps.